Chapter 134 Great Immortal Ascension Assembly. Now is not the time to talk about some Immortal Ascension Assembly. The topic we should be discussing right now is regarding the issue of our fellow cultivators going missing. Hupingu said somewhat resentfully towards the youth. It's not a problem. Give Brother Wu a proper explanation. Maybe there are others who are unclear of the details about the Immortal Ascension Assembly. Taoist priest Qingwen said with a smile, but Han Li felt that he was intentionally looking at Han Li. Han Li's heart trembled with fear. Could it be that Taoist priest Qingwen saw through something? Han Li already tried his best to hide characteristics of a new immortal cultivator and even go as far as to avoid touching certain people. But nowadays, it seemed that it was still unable to be concealed from these certain people's eyes. This Taoist priest Qingwen's eyes were definitely really fierce. Since Taoist priest Qingwen said it like that, then I better explain it properly to Brother Wu. Seeing this, He Mu's spirits were lifted, and he looked like he had a lot to say. So everyone returned to their original seats once again, except for Fatty Huang Xiaoyan. I already know about the Great Immortal Ascension Assembly. I will return to rest first, you guys go ahead, Fatty said with a cold expression. He did not wait for anyone else to speak and left the house, leaving behind a house full of people looking at each other in dismay. Everyone, don't take offense. Brother Huang's cultivation art is a bit weird, and he is relatively addicted to sleep. It is not that he intentionally treats people coldly. Qingwen, with irreproachable manners, hurriedly exonerated Huang Xiaoyan on his behalf. The majority of the people in the room who heard this all laughed bitterly. Take offense? Who dared to take offense? That person was a powerful man who had more magic power than the Taoist priest. The atmosphere in the room became somewhat awkward. Brother He Mu, please continue. Wu Juzi broke the atmosphere as he urged on. He Mu heard it and laughed, then continued to talk about it. When talking about Great Immortal Ascension Assembly, one must mention the Foundation Establishment Pill, the medicine pill that makes all the Qi condensation stage cultivators go mad. In order for a Qi condensation cultivator were to enter Foundation Establishment and become a part of the true cultivating world, aside from cultivating their Foundation cultivation techniques to the 7th layer, they still needed to consume the spirit medicine, Foundation Establishment Pill, which only major sects could manufacture. Only then would there be hope of breaking through the bottleneck of that realm and succeed into Foundation Establishment. This contributed to Foundation Establishment Pill's famous name, Immortal Ascension Pill, making those immortal cultivators go mad. Even in the immortal cultivator major factions, the Foundation Establishment Pill was in critically short shortage. Because the Foundation Establishment Pill's raw materials were extremely hard to find, even if all the cultivators throughout the entire state of Yue collaborated and acted together to provide materials and great effort every 10 years, they could only hope to make a few new cauldron medicine pills, about 1,000 measly pieces. But even if all these medicine pills were to be divided equally among every faction, there would be no way to satisfy their own needs. As a result, the Foundation Establishment Pill never appeared outside the world of cultivators. However, in the cultivating world of the entire state of Yue, there were still a lot of existing cultivators who practiced their Foundation cultivation techniques until the 7th layer. These people were in urgent need of Foundation Establishment Pills to attempt to break through the bottleneck. Thus, on one hand, because of the shortage of Foundation Establishment Pills, the big sects had monopolized the medicine pill. On the other hand, there was an increasing number of rogue immortal cultivators that were in need of Foundation Establishment Pills but could not find a single piece in the outside world. There were already conflicting views from both sides very early on. So much so that at one time, there was deep animosity from short-tempered minor immortal cultivators towards these sects. Those from the major immortal cultivator factions naturally became aware of the poor outlook of the situation, but they couldn't do anything about it for the time being. After all, they didn't have enough Foundation and Establishment Pill for themselves, so how could they take out some and give them to outsiders? But in this whole world, there were no difficult problems that couldn't be solved. Eventually in this crisis, there was an unknown genius from a sect who solved it. Unexpectedly, he thought an idea. Every time there were freshly manufactured foundation and establishment pills, major sects would pick out outstanding rogue cultivators from the outside world, allow them to join the major sects, and give them the foundation establishment pill to consume. This way, the sects could stem the outflow of foundation establishment pill, thereby preventing manure water from flowing to other fields. This also eliminated the dissatisfaction of minor immortal cultivators. After all, to be able to join one of the major immortal cultivator factions, how could these cultivators not be content? The factions could even pick out disciples who have outstanding aptitudes. It truly was a good situation that could satisfy everyone. But the method of selection must be fair and strict to prevent any disputes caused by gossips. If not, there would be an opposite effect. Hence, the sects would choose their elites and use arena-style combat to let newcomers strive for the chance to enter their sects. Each of the 7 great sects would take 10 disciples and 10 pieces of foundation establishment pills to award the final victors. Naturally, they would set an age limit. Anyone above 40 years old would not be allowed to enter. Even though these people may have good aptitudes, their future prospects in cultivation would not be good. This was how the Great Immortal Ascension Assembly was born. The majority of the people who were able to obtain victory in the arena were those with profound magic power as well as talented individuals with aptitudes surpassing others, making those immortal cultivator sects very pleased to obtain these excellent quality disciples. All the grievances of the other immortal cultivators disappeared after the establishment of this great assembly. All their attention was focused on the once-in-a-decade opportunity to make a big break. Thus, the Great Immortal Ascension Assembly was organized in this way. And every time there would be 70 lucky winners who became disciples of the 7 great sects, making other immortal cultivators go even more frantic. At the end, almost all of the immortal cultivators who were of an appropriate age and were in the chi condensation stage felt that they are no weaker than their peers. They would go all out and try a few times to fight on the arena, hoping to gain an unexpected success and transform from a carp into a dragon. But this arena was not easy to beat since magic was not easy to control for these second-rate immortal cultivators. Each assembly would have a lot of dead or injured casualties, which also created intense rancor among the challengers. Heimu spent half a day talking about this. Chu Jiuzi, who was listening with keen interest, gained a lot from this. Han Li, who was sitting beside and listening in, benefited even more from this lecture and had a deeper understanding towards the world of cultivators. If I were to succeed, would I also be able to become a disciple of a major sect? After listening, Wu Juzi's face was full of yearning. Are you dreaming? With your level, you would be dead if you tried to rush and grind even if you weren't injured. Hu Pinggu ridiculed without restraint when she heard Wu Juzi's words of reverie. Oh, why can't I do it? Although my cultivation art is at the 8th layer, am I still qualifications to get on stage and fight? Wu Juzi did not get angry this time, and instead he consulted with Hu Pinggu. Hu Pinggu was somewhat shocked, but after hesitating for a while, he said, Boy Wu, do you know what kind of people were in the 70 winners last time? And how many cultivators, who were of similar caliber, as yourself, were injured or dead? I hope Lady Hu would be so kind as to give me a reply. Wu Juzi replied rather sincerely. I witnessed the previous Great Immortal Ascension Assembly's entire battle, and there's still some lingering fear when I think about it. It was as if Hu Pinggu remembered something very frightening, as her complexion turned paler. When her fully bearded husband saw this, he immediately placed his hand on her shoulder to comfort her. Hu Pinggu turned her head and lovingly looked at her husband, her complexion easing up. Both of us don't want to participate in the single elimination open tournament, only to look. We are prepared to stay in chi condensation forever. Since you all still have ambitious goals, then let me tell you some cruel aspects of the tournament. Otherwise, you will die without ever knowing what happened to you. Hu Pinggu said indifferently.